All right, so another tip that I want to give you is the difference between wide squats and close stand squats. All right, so when you're performing wide squats, which are squats that are performed further than shoulder width apart, this is going to be targeting more glutes than your quads. And if you're doing more close stands rather than wide stands, this is going to be targeting more of your quads than your glutes, okay? So watch this. All right, so we have close stand squats, all right? It's going to be harder to get deep in a full range of motion due to the ankle mobility, all right? The lack of ankle mobility, right? So with your feet closer, this is going to be targeting more of your quads, all right? And then as you widen out your stance and you get wider than your shoulders, now you're going to be targeting more of your glutes, all right? So close stance is going to be here, okay? That's going to be targeting your quads. And then as you widen that stance, you're going to be targeting your glutes, okay? Another tip, when squatting, most of the time you've been told to keep your knees straight, okay? Which can feel pretty uncomfortable for most people, all right? So what you want to do is you want to give your toes a slight point outward, and what this is going to do is this is going to allow your hips to actually open so that you can get a full deep range of motion. Because here, you're constricted, okay? Because your hips are locked up. But as soon as you open up here, you're now able to sit down deep into your squat, all right? So watch that again. As you drop down, you want to keep your back straight, okay? Your chest up high, and you want to sit back, okay? You'll see a lot of beginners have trouble because they just want to go straight down, right? They're just dropping their butt down. And watch how my knees are going over my toes, okay? And so you want to make sure that you're sitting back as if you're going to go, you know, sit on the toilet, right? Or sit on a chair. You want to sit back rather than down, right? And you see how I'm using and pressing off of my heels, right? So you're putting your weight on your heels and driving off your heels. Another thing that's going to be important and useful here is when you're doing leg day, using flat shoes, okay? So the power of flat shoes is going to allow you to be more stable to the ground. You're going to have less wobble, okay? Because those soft soles are going to make you wobble, especially when you have some weight on your back. So being able to just be solid and, you know, stable into the ground, whether you're wearing Vans, Chucks, or, you know, nothing, this is going to allow you to have more stability going into your leg day. Whether you're doing lunges, you're not going to have all that extra movement due to the soft shoes, okay? And again, when you're doing lunges, you want to make sure that you're pressing off your heel, okay? So you're pressing off your heel, right? Because that's going to activate the glute, all right? So when you're dropping down, you want to make sure again that you are dropping down and back, right? Not forward and putting that pressure onto your knee here. Okay, so you're dropping your butt, you're straight down and back so that your knee's at a 90-degree angle, not going over your toe, okay? And then again, as you're coming up, you're pressing off your heel so that it fires along the hamstring into the glute, okay? My balance is wacky right now. What else? So we've got wide stance squats. That's going to target your glutes rather than your quads. Close stance squats. Those are going to target your quads rather than your glutes. If you find that getting deep into your squat is difficult, you're going to want to address a few things here. It's going to be either your lack of ankle mobility in your ankle. So if you're lacking ankle mobility, right, which allows for your knees to go over your toes, so your ankle mobility here, this will stop you from being able to go deep into your squats because your ankles are so tight here. So you'll find that you can only go here and then it locks up. So what you're going to want to do with that is tune into the ankle mobility and the dorsiflexion mobility exercises. But ideally, you're just going to want to stretch out your calf and your ankle, all right? as well as your hips. Your hips are going to be really important when it comes to getting a deep squat. So if you find that you're getting down to here and your hips are locking up and you can't get deeper down to here, it's probably because your hips are tight. So that then you need to perform more hip mobility and hip strengthening exercises.